Are you a carer and wondering how to apply for Carer's Allowance? Then this video is for you. Before we dive into the details, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Your support helps us bring you more helpful content. In this video, we will be talking about Carer's Allowance and how you can apply for it. We will break down the application process step by step. We will also cover who is eligible for Carer's Allowance. This will help you understand if you qualify before you start your application. We know that applying for benefits can be confusing, so we are here to make it as simple as possible for you. First things first, what is Carer's Allowance? Carer's Allowance is a benefit for people who spend at least 35 hours a week caring for someone. The person you care for must also receive certain benefits. To be eligible, you must be 16 or over and not in full-time education. You must also earn less than $732 a week after tax and expenses. The person you care for needs to receive one of these benefits: Personal Independence Payment, PIP, Disability Living Allowance, DLA or Attendance Allowance. If they do not, you will not be able to claim Carer's Allowance. Now let's move on to how you can apply. You can apply online or by post. It is usually quicker and easier to apply online. To apply online, you need to visit the government's Carer's Allowance webpage. You will need to have some information ready before you start. You will need your national insurance number, bank details, and employment details. If you have any savings or investments, you will need those details too. You will also need the details of the person you care for. This includes their date of birth, address, and national insurance number. Once you have all this information, you can start your application. The online form will guide you through each step. You will need to fill in some personal details and answer questions about your caring role. Make sure you answer all the questions truthfully. The form will ask you about the care you provide and how many hours a week you spend caring. Remember, you need to spend at least 35 hours a week caring to qualify. You will also need to provide details about the person you care for and their benefits. This is to confirm that they are receiving the correct benefits for you to claim Carer's Allowance. If you prefer, you can apply by post. You will need to download and print the Carer's Allowance claim form from the government's website. Fill in the form with your details and the details of the person you care for. Once completed, send the form to the address provided on the form. Whether you apply online or by post, it is important to keep a copy of your application. This is in case you need to refer to it later. After you apply, you will get a decision letter. This will tell you if your claim has been successful and how much you will get. If your claim is approved, you will receive Carer's Allowance every 4 weeks. The amount you get is currently POS60, $9.70 a week. Remember, claiming Carer's Allowance may affect the benefits of the person you care for. It is a good idea to discuss this with them before you apply. Also, claiming Carer's Allowance can affect your own benefits. For example, it can affect your universal credit or housing benefit. It is always a good idea to get advice if you are not sure about how claiming might affect your benefits. You can contact the Carer's Allowance unit for help. That's everything you need to know about applying for Carer's Allowance. In the next part of the video, we will cover some tips and common questions about Carer's Allowance. Now let's talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of claiming Carer's Allowance. This will help you make an informed decision before you apply. One of the main advantages is that Carer's Allowance provides financial support. This can help ease the financial burden of caring for someone. It can be a big help for those who have had to cut back on work hours. Another benefit is that claiming Carer's Allowance can help you qualify for other benefits. For example, it can count towards your national insurance contributions. This can help you qualify for a state pension. However, There are a few disadvantages to consider. One is that claiming carer's allowance can affect the benefits of the person you care for. This can include their severe disability premium or other extra payments. Another downside is that carer's allowance can affect your own benefits. For instance, it can reduce the amount of universal credit you get. It is important to check how your benefits might be affected before you apply. One more thing to consider is that you cannot claim carer's allowance if you are in full-time education. This might be a disadvantage for young carers who are still studying. You also cannot earn more than $732 a week after tax and expenses. On the positive side, getting carer's allowance can provide you with a sense of recognition. It acknowledges the hard work and dedication that goes into caring for someone. This can be a big morale booster. Lastly, carer's allowance can give you access to other support and resources. This includes carers groups and additional help from social services. It can be a gateway to more support for you and the person you care for. Before we move on to the rest of the video, if you are finding this helpful, please like, subscribe and comment, as it really helps this video reach a wider audience. Here is an example of how someone successfully applied for carer's allowance. Sarah is a 45-year-old who cares for her elderly mother who has severe arthritis and receives attendance allowance. Sarah works part-time and earns less than $732 a week after tax and expenses. Sarah decided to apply for carer's allowance to help with the financial strain of looking after her mum. She gathered all the necessary information, including their national insurance numbers and her mum's benefit details. Sarah applied online and, after a few weeks, received a decision letter confirming her claim was approved. This extra money made a big difference, allowing her to continue providing the best care for her mum. If you are thinking about applying for carer's allowance, it is important to gather all necessary details first. Make sure you have your national insurance number, bank details, and employment information ready. Do not forget to have the benefit details of the person you care for. Once you have all this information, decide whether you want to apply online or by post. The online application is quicker, but some people prefer to fill out a paper form. Either way, make sure you keep a copy of your application and any correspondence. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and it helps us to continue bringing you helpful content.